Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. I'm going to tell you about mine here in just a minute. For those of you who are getting to know me or are just new to Glow, my name's Kate Ahrens, and I live in Sacramento, California. And today it's very overcast, and it is cold. It's not freezing cold, it's cold. I'm going to get walking here in just a minute. I'm going to tag a few more of you, the ones that are usually on, and kind of go from there. So, I hope your day is going well. My day has not been too bad. It's been interesting. I just set up a YouTube channel, and if you see it, you'll probably see something that says no content. I've had a couple people go in and try it, so I know it's working. So if you are interested in subscribing to the YouTube channel, I'll post it within Glow after I'm done walking. And hit subscribe, and then go to like the video area and just click on video, and the videos should pop up. I don't know if it's YouTube just getting caught up. I made a couple of changes, and also one of the other, lesson learned, always try to work from one device when you're making changes. I think maybe that might have something to do with it too. The application on the phone is different for YouTube than the application on my laptop. So it's like you have to understand where everything is and figure out different things. So like this morning's problem, from my phone, I could share. And I could not log out. And then from my laptop, I could log out and I could not share. It was just like the opposite. And some people are able to hit subscribe, see content right away, and others are, when you hit subscribe or see that subscribe on the YouTube announcement, it says no content available. So it's really confusing. So try hitting subscribe and then go in and see where the video is and see if you can click on the video if it's not grayed out. So that's the best advice. I got to see what happens. So it's a learning experience, and that's part of what passion projects are, right? They're learning experiences. And sometimes they're a test of our resolve to see how we're going to stand. Are we going to stand firm, or are we going to have a reaction to whatever's happening with YouTube app on the iPhone or on the laptop? We can choose how we're going to react, right? We can choose whether or not we're going to let that bother us or not. So, with Dave's assistance, was able to work through it. So thank you, David. I appreciate you. I want to talk a little bit about my positivity calendar. One of the little things that I like to do is I like to take whatever it says, and I like to take whatever is on my daily 7 Habits app and kind of put them together to see if I can come up with something to talk about. So this YouTube experience, right, kind of portrays some of the stuff that we go through. Well, that's just technology. Many of us met through Dr. V, and he's doing his purge. So there's change happening all over, right, for many people. And it's very confusing. So on my positivity calendar, it said, stop overthink. I'm going to say that again. Stop overthinking things and just do. Stop overthinking things and just do. And then on the little 7 Habits app, it said, what are you doing today that might seem like a withdrawal from the emotional bank account of someone important to you? So emotional bank accounts are kind of like the time and the effort and the energy that we put into relationships and how we interact interdependently, hello, good morning, with other people. It's about, it's part of the flow sequence, it can be, where you're connected to everything and there's no blocks. Everything is kind of like open and it's not good or bad. It's not the blahs. It's not that. It's like, it doesn't matter who said about what. That's not taking or drawing your focus. Your focus is here and now in this conversation. For many people during times like today, hey you, how are you? I'm talking about my YouTube experience and the learning experience from it. So I think I kind of rattled on for about 5 minutes about that. Anyways, just in a nutshell, my iPhone, has YouTube, right? And my laptop has YouTube. And the applications are different. So on my phone for YouTube, I can share, and I couldn't log out. Well, on my laptop, I could sign out, but I couldn't share it. And a couple of people were getting, they'd go to hit subscribe, and it says no content available. You have to click on videos, and then they pop up. So I don't know if it's a glitch in YouTube or if it's just catching up. I don't have a clue. Fave Dave logged on. He was able to get on, and so was Angie Davis. And they both had to do the same thing. So you would go and you would hit subscribe, just ignore that little message that says no content. And then after you hit subscribe, the screen that comes up, go to like videos and click on it, and you should be able to see it. So, and then the other thing was, do you know that YouTube has an app to show you how to sign out on your iPhone? And it's like 36 seconds long. So the YouTube app that's on your phone, there is a YouTube video on how to sign out. You have to go to switch accounts. Yeah, who would think to look there, right? You have to go to switch accounts, and then it says something about choose logout feature. So that was fun, and that took a good chunk of my morning. So when you're talking about stop overthinking things and just do, okay? And you're putting it together with what are you doing today that might seem like a withdrawal from the emotional bank account of someone important to you. Like David, he said, thank you. How can I help you this afternoon? It's a partnership of reciprocity that allows us to keep moving forward in our relationship. So this requires communication and listening skills, right? So we're all learning and we're all growing, and we're all doing it at different levels right now. And that's a hardship for a lot of people because a little bit of like what Dr. V was talking about this morning, that if you can't find that peace of mind, you know, that ability to just quiet your mind, that quiet space. So for me, it's getting out and doing these walks that allows me to break away from old behavior where, you know, when the thinking comes in, oh, you're too old, or oh, you're too set in your ways, or oh, no. That's not the way it works, right? This is supposed to be not just learning YouTube and learning to have a passion project, or going and trying to figure out how to develop a retirement stream, or, you know, figuring out services for my granddaughter, or la 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 la, you know, whatever the adventure is knowing that any arena that I'm in, it doesn't matter what's going on, because nobody can steal my joy unless I give it to them, right? So, if you're overthinking things, right, just do it. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Just do it. Hey, John Clark. Hey, I figured out how to sign out on the iPhone. There's a YouTube video on how to do it. It's 36 seconds long. You go to switch accounts, and then you choose it. You do the same steps, you know. Go to your account, and then, yeah. Who would have thought to look under there? Switch accounts. It's under there. The sign out is for the iPhone. I'll have Fave Dave send it to you. That one took forever to figure that one out. Hi, Dolly. How are you? I'm talking about my YouTube adventure for the announcement that got sent out. Funny story. And I've already told it a couple of times, so I'm going to try and edit this down. This morning, other people tried to subscribe to the YouTube channel, right? And it comes up and it says, no content available. Well, when you hit subscribe, you have to wait a second. When the screen changes, then you have to go to videos, and you actually have to click on videos. I had Angie Davis do it, and I had Fave Dave do it, and they were both able to pull everything up. So there's only like 2 little things on there now, and I've got a couple of things planned, and I'm going to bring it up on Thursday at our brainstorming session. And I want to talk about the experience of, you know, what it's like setting up this new platform and understanding what it takes and how it works within us, right? So when I'm talking about emotional bank accounts, and I'm asking myself, okay, no, that's fine, John. I just thought you'd like to have the resource. The point being is Dave's very smart when it comes to computers. I mean, he builds them, he ran them, he built them, he wrote code, you know, he did all of it. And the problems that I was experiencing, I thought I was, you know, kind of going out there for a minute thinking, why is this happening, you know? For it to be the complete opposite for YouTube from the laptop to the iPhone is completely ridiculous. I mean, I understand that the applications are different and it's set up different because of, you know, different things, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. What's interesting is that I could share from my iPhone, but I couldn't sign out. and then vice versa on my laptop. I could sign out, but I couldn't share. So I figured out how to do that, and we figured out that everything's safe and everything's working. So hopefully it'll be a good experience for everybody. So for me, there's a couple of things about this emotional bank account, how it applies. This is a Stephen Covey thing, by the way. You make investments not only into other people, but you also make investments into yourself and in your relationships. And a lot of it is that beat between stimulus and response, and how we are going to participate in relationships, how we're going to value our self-worth. Are we taking away from somebody, or are we also giving back? So, I asked John questions. If he can answer them, great. If he can't, he says, I don't know, and we just kind of move on, right? Or if he doesn't need the resource, he'll say, no, thank you. Great, we move on, right? No big deal. No hurt feelings, no nothing. We just move on, right? So when you build friendships and you build relationships like that, what it does is it allows you to build your self-confidence. And why is that important? Well, it's not just about standing up here and telling about all the stuff that you know. It's about setting up interdependent relationships where we're learning from each other, we're growing with each other, we can freely ask questions without an issue, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. Why? Because we're smart enough to have respect for each other, right? I'm going to treat people the way I want to be treated, and hopefully they're going to do the same. And we're going to try and meet people where they're at, and we're also going to have good boundaries when it comes to protecting our self-worth and our needs too. And I really encourage people to take care of themselves. Why? Because if we don't, we're going to burn out, right? We don't need to burn out. What do we need to do? We need to stop overthinking things. We got to trust ourselves a little bit more. We've got to, Dr. V even touched on this morning, recognize the value of whatever your productivity is, whatever it is that you do. Even if you're a homemaker, find the value in what it is that you do. If you're selling something online, understand what the value is to you as well as to other people. And don't shortchange yourself. I think that's the most important thing. Understanding what our needs are and understanding what that radical honesty, what that looks like, right? Can we, right now, maybe accept something that we don't want to hear or we don't like, and we may not agree to, for the short term, for a better outcome down the road? So if we can do that, then we're kind of working from an abundant state and from a flow state, because it's a synergistic give and take. Hi, yin yang. It's a synergistic give and take. It's us having a conversation, not me just standing up here preaching at you. We all have something important to bring to the table. Some of us are organizers. Some of us are education motivators. Morning. Some of us are looking for motivation. Some of us are great in finance. Some of us are more talented in parenting. Some of us, we all have something of value to share with each other. All kinds of knowledge. So, what do you want to do with YouTube? I don't know. Maybe have a daily show. Maybe set up something for kids. Maybe use it as an advertising platform and create classes on Zoom that can be put together for homeschool kids and correctional centers and all different kinds of revenue streams. See, that's me. That's where I make all those connections, right? Oh, man, I'm telling you, Dolly, it's my go-to. I do dialectical behavioral training. I also do motivational interviewing. I do cognitive behavioral therapy, which is not my go-to. I do DBT over CBT. And why is these all important? Why is it important to know this stuff? Because basically, there's self-help skills and there's self-governing leadership skills and all this other stuff. And if you don't have a clue how to build community, have a place where it's safe for you to ask whatever it is that you want to ask and get an answer to and not feel like an idiot, right? And I don't like that word, and I never use that word, right? So, yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I need to talk to her about it, see if she'll do it like once a week where we're bringing on other kids that are kind of like Mackenzie. You know, they want to write books. They want to learn how to write books and hook this from Optimus in it there somewhere because they've got all kinds of grants for women that are single head of household and young women. So I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. And it has something to do with my granddaughter too. So I'm figuring it out. I am smart, capable, strong, and all things are possible, right? So you bet. You bet, you bet, you bet. And together, yeah, just keep, inspiring others to dream big and dream them right into reality. I think that's where the emotional bank account really is important. Because not only are you learning to invest in yourself, right? Not only are you learning how to invest in yourself, you're also learning how to invest in others and teach others how to invest in themselves, right? So it's kind of almost like a train the trainer. Not all parents are cop-outs. Please don't hear that. Sometimes it is a lot easier to say, here's a switch, here's a TV, here's a iPod, here's a whatever, just so they tune out for 20 seconds so that you can turn out for 20 seconds. It's much harder to sit down and play a board game and talk about feelings or talk about whatever needs to be talked about. So, emotional bank accounts require a two-way street, right? And one of the things I want to do, Dolly and Susie both, I want to create a junior version of Glow. And I'm looking at creating a nonprofit, and I'm doing it for my granddaughter so that she has a future. And it's not just for me, it's for my daughter, and it's going to be in a trust. It's down the road, and it's learning the pieces, and I'm doing like 3 different projects right now. And really working on the time to do like Stephen Covey encourages us to do, to work in the quadrant 2, where we're always building on our skills. So yeah, this morning I spent maybe 3 hours on YouTube and all that, and I think I figured it out. Dave and I both, So the experience I could have shared with John, or I could share with anybody else, right? So as we go about this, and I learned more about it, it's just going to make the picture more clear. So, do I know what the future holds? No, I don't. I know I'm a great connector, and I know I'm a great bringer together, right? And I know with the experience and training that I have, I know that I can be a mental health well-being educator and do what I want to do online. It's just a matter of learning all the little pieces, right? Hey, Angie. So yeah, I told the story about the YouTube, and it's pretty funny. So go back to the beginning, and I'm going to actually edit it. I'm going to try to edit it and post it on YouTube later this afternoon. That's one of my goals. I don't care how crappy it is, I'm going to do it anyways. Because it's the follow through. It's like Brene Brown says, you got to be willing to fall on your face, right? You got to be willing to put yourself out there, and it's not always about looking pretty. I mean, I throw a hat on sometimes. I go for my walk, and then I go home, take a nice long hot shower, and I just disconnect from everything. When I'm out walking, what I'm doing is I'm looking for like-minded people who want to have a conversation and be on the same page, right? It was so funny. It's funny how your iPhone app and like the laptop app, they're different. They have the same pieces, they're just organized differently. And on my phone, I could share, and I could not sign out. On my laptop, I could sign out, but I could not share. When people was seeing the YouTube invite, says no content available. Well, I asked you to do it, Angie. You had to go in, hit submit, then hit videos, and then you found it, right? Am I correct? Did I say it right? If not, please correct me. So, yeah, so the whole, sitting on 3 hours of figuring that out was a hard lesson learned, and now I know. And I know that if I send it to myself, I'm going to see the page where I can make changes and all that. See, when I was sending it out to myself, that's what I was seeing. I wasn't seeing, like what you guys see or what Dave saw. So when I had Dave do it, then I saw that it was safe, that I could send it out. And, even though it doesn't say, when you hit subscribe, it says no content available. There is content there. You just got to wait for YouTube to get caught up, I guess. So, I don't know. We'll see if it's worth the $11.99 a month. That was the basic. I think they have a $17.99, and they also have a TV package. And that's not plug-in YouTube. That's just what's available, in case anybody else is interested. It's like Zoom. I got the Zoom Professional because I don't want to deal with ads. I don't want to deal with all that crap. If it can streamline my life and make it easier, it's well worth it during the learning process. So right now, my whole total investment is less than, I think it's $80 a month for everything that I'm in. And that includes Dr. V. That also includes Sandy. Yeah, I'm going to work on it. It's a learning process, and I think that's part of what the YouTube thing's going to be. Is kind of like passion project to retirement stream, and these are the things that we kind of fell on our face on, like Brene Brown says, and had to pick ourselves up, and this is how we're upcircling. And then when I get to the point where I'm ready to set up classes and have people in attendance, then I can do those meetings on Zoom and just set up a private pay. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'll figure it out. Correction, and I'll figure it out. Oh, that's the beauty of community. That's the beauty of understanding not just relationships, but understanding flow. To always want to be in control of your response, no matter what. So for me, and I've shared this with many people, one of the things that I do, if you're not in the current now, having this conversation back and forth like Angie and I are, you're more apt to just be tuned out, and you're not in the current now. You're either in the future, a little bit of the future, or a little bit of the past. If you're in the present past, it's that, oh my God, what did I say? Does everybody think I'm a fool? Da, 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 da. Or if it's the future, is, oh my gosh, what are they going to, either or, future, past, turn it off. Just turn it off. And trust that you're smart and capable and strong, and that you know what you need to do. You can try anything for 6 months and see if you can get through the process, right? And as you work the process, joy will come in knowing that you're trusting yourself. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. So, when you're thinking about who's in your life and how it impacts you on a daily basis, regardless, it might be 7, 8, 9, 10 different things. And each one, if you're thinking about each one, all going all at the same time, right? You got way too many tabs open. You have to learn how to shut them down and focus on one thing. Just one. The most important thing. The one thing that you wanted to get accomplished, right? And then move on to the next, and then move on to the next, and move on to the next. And understand that right then, right there, no content available. It may be a day or two for YouTube to get caught up. I don't know. I do know that other people are seeing the content, so give it a try. Don't assume that it's not going to work. Don't assume that, it's too much work. No, it's never too much work when it concerns you. If it's of interest to you and it makes sense to you, then be a part of the process. Take the time to understand that there's a YouTube video for just about everything. Just like I said, learning how to sign out on your YouTube iPhone app. That specific. Who would have ever thought, right? When I get up in my head and I'm overthinking myself and I'm not challenging myself, that's when I have problems. When I stick to my routine of walking, of sharing experiences, of listening to other people's stories, of understanding where all the connections are, of how it all comes together. If I ignore all that, I'm not in a state of flow. When I'm here in my routine, my world, this is flow. This is me being at my best, doing what I do best, bringing people together. information and resource. They call it forensic case management, depending on what type of job you do. It's understanding the needs of the whole person. It's understanding that the needs are going to be very individualized, that John's going to be different than me, that Angie's going to be different from me, and that our common problems we can all address together, right? So community has its advantages. It's about wholehearted living. It's one part of wholehearted living, as Brené Brown would say. Wholehearted living means that you're encompassing everything that's important to you. And that includes grandchildren and art and music and your ideas and your creative ability to do what it is that you want to do. That's correct. We are all the same and we are all different. That is the dialectic, John. You are correct. And understanding that is what motivates me. Understanding that the wealth of knowledge that each of us have is only going to help each of us just springboard forward into where we want to be. When we share our knowledge base, when it's not a threat, when we don't feel like we have to make conditions on relationships. Now, conditions are different than boundaries, right? Boundaries is you have a drinking or a drug issue, and the boundary is you will not bring it into my home or around my children, right? That's a boundary. A condition is if you want me to stay, then X has got to happen. That's a condition. And there's a difference in how you look at it. And we can choose resentment or we can choose love. Love is an action word. For me, it's when you're clean and sober and you're ready to participate in your life. Come talk to me. Come talk to me. Tell me you're ready. If you're not at capacity, know where all the numbers are. They're underneath program description and GLOW. National Suicide Prevention Hotline, text line, veterans line, all that, right? That's all important. So understanding that other people may be shy. They may be shy because of their culture. They may be shy of their language. They may be good connectors, and they may at the same time not have the confidence to do what everybody else is doing. So, not that you should not take in consideration of other people. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is what's most important is your perspective on the whole picture. And your reaction or action. If you're being proactive, you're going to act. If you're being reactive, you're going to be screaming, hollering, and blaming, right? There's a difference. Proactive, what does that mean? It means that I'm in the moment. I'm grounding myself. This guy is yelling at me. I'm grounding myself. What am I doing? I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. I'm taking over control. I'm protecting my mind, right? It's up to us. It's up to us. Okay, John, I'm going to check in after my walk. I'm not going to stay on much longer. I'm going to go stand in a hot shower and get warm. And then I'm going to see about editing this down and then sticking it on YouTube and go from there. We'll see, right? So thanks for being patient, everybody. And thanks for being on the walk with me. And I think I'm going to jump off because it takes a long time for these things to upload to YouTube. Okay? So I'll talk to y'all later, and I'll let you know updates as I go along. Bye. Let me know how it goes, John, for Dr. V. Bye.